We're used to seeing chips, sausages, mayonnaise, and soda as a regular part of our diet. But what if there are real threats hidden behind this familiar food? Chips, for example, can contain toxic substances. Did you know about this? Sausages and homemade canned goods can lead to serious illness. It's time to look at familiar products from a different angle and understand if the short-term pleasure is worth it. Possible long-term consequences. Chips are popular, harmful snacks. Made from flour, starches, seasonings, they are tasty yet risky. They are made from flour and starches, generously seasoned with flavorings and flavor enhancers, making them incredibly tasty and hard to resist. However, behind that flavor lies a serious health danger. The combination of starches and artificial additives not only contributes to weight gain, but can also damage the liver. It can increase the risk of heart attacks and lead to the formation of atherosclerotic plaques in the blood vessels. This crunchy snack can contain not just the calories and fats we're used to, but also some dangerous substances. It can increase the risk of heart attacks and lead to the formation of atherosclerotic plaques in the blood vessels. This crunchy snack can contain not just the calories and fats we're used to, but also some dangerous substances, like cadmium and arsenic. At first glance, harmless potato and beet chips hide chemical compounds that can seriously harm your health. Cadmium is a heavy metal that, when it accumulates in the body, affects the kidneys and liver, undermining health from the inside. Arsenic, known for its toxic properties, can cause serious disruptions in the body's functions and even increase the risk of cancer. In some brands, the levels of cadmium and arsenic are so high that they exceed the allowable limits by several times. Certain brands of potato chips actually contain cadmium levels that exceed safety standards, which raises serious concerns among the experts. The situation is even more alarming with beet chips, which have been found to contain both of these substances. The levels of cadmium and arsenic far exceed safe limits, which can lead to serious health issues. Chips aren't just a quick snack or a momentary pleasure. This is a product that requires a close look at the ingredients and an understanding of the hidden risks. After all, health comes first, even when it comes to something as familiar as chips. Have you ever wondered what's hiding behind the appetizing crust of smoked sausage or in a jar of homemade preserves? These products, seemingly harmless and so familiar at first glance, can lead to a serious illness called botulism. This term refers to a dangerous condition affecting the nervous system, accompanied by a host of severe symptoms. History has seen cases where people became victims of just one piece of improperly cooked food. But what makes sausage and preserves so dangerous? It all comes down to the toxin Clostridium botulinum, which can accumulate in food when it's not cooked properly and stored in anaerobic conditions. Botulinum toxin is one of the most potent toxic substances in the world, and its effects on the body can be deadly. A person who has consumed contaminated food may experience symptoms like sudden weakness, worsening vision, dry mouth, and difficulty breathing. Like sudden weakness, worsening vision, dry mouth, and difficulty breathing. Muscle damage can be so severe that patients have to support their heads with their hands, and breathing becomes shallow and difficult. Sausages and preserves, especially homemade ones, pose an increased risk, because it is not always possible to destroy all spores, Clostridium botulinum, under normal conditions. Even one small mistake in preparation can be fatal. And here are some more seemingly harmless products. Mayonnaise and ketchup. These sauces seem so ordinary that their harm rarely raises any doubts. But if you look a little deeper, you'll find that even homemade and store-bought versions of these condiments can hide dangers. Mayonnaise, whether it's store-bought or homemade, isn't always safe. With homemade mayonnaise, the risk of salmonella from raw eggs can turn a tasty addition to your dishes into a serious health threat. Store-bought mayonnaise is just a mix of refined oils into a serious health threat. Store-bought mayonnaise is basically a mix of refined oils, of egg powder and dry milk, filled with thickeners, preservatives, and flavorings. This mix is high in calories, triggers allergies and food poisoning, and on top of that, it can lead to an addiction to ketchup, which can lead to weight gain. Ketchup, which is so often used to add a kick to dishes. Not the best. If 1 spoon of ketchup contains up to 4 grams of sugar, then the whole pack is even more caloric than chocolate cookies. Store-bought ketchups contain palm oil, which becomes toxic when reheated, as well as flavor enhancers that can be addictive. All of this can disrupt metabolism and lead to gastritis and ulcers, especially when it comes to spicy types of ketchup, like chili. The conclusion is simple. Regularly consuming mayonnaise and ketchup can seriously undermine your health. If you're watching your diet and want to avoid digestive issues and allergies, it's better to skip these sauces or cut back on how much you use them. Switching to homemade recipes is a great alternative that lets you control the ingredients and take care of your health. The hot dog is one of the most popular fast foods, but have you ever thought about the damage it can do to your health? Researchers from the University of Michigan came to a troubling conclusion. Every hot dog you eat shortens a person's life by 36 minutes. This figure is based on the Healthy Eating Index, which takes into account the impact of various foods on lifespan. Hot dogs are especially dangerous because they contain processed meat, which is high in sodium and trans fatty acids. Processed meat, the main component of a hot dog, is dangerous on its own. Scientists have calculated that every gram of such meat takes away 45 seconds of life. Add sodium and trans fats to the mix, and you'll get a dish which speeds up the aging process and leads to problems with the cardiovascular system. The problem isn't just about shortening lifespan. Doctors are already calling obesity a national disaster, emphasizing that people's addiction to fast food persists despite the obvious risks, remains at a high level. And while some types of fast food can be relatively safe when eaten in moderation, like pizza with tomatoes or cheese, hot dogs are not among those foods. It's worth considering whether that momentary pleasure is really worth the consequences that frequent hot dog consumption can bring. Hot dogs are not one of those foods. It's worth thinking about whether that momentary pleasure is really worth the consequences that frequent hot dog consumption can bring. After all, health is a resource. It's hard to regain, but easy to lose if we don't pay attention to what we're eating. After all, health is a resource. It's hard to regain, but easy to lose if we don't pay attention to what we're eating. Popcorn is one of the most beloved snacks, especially in movie theaters and at parties. However, behind its fluffy texture lies some hidden health risks. First of all, we're talking about commercial popcorn that has added sugar and flavor enhancers. The salt content in these products is high, which leads to fluid retention in the body and swelling. And too much sugar contributes to weight gain. Related health issues. The cooking process also has its downsides. A lot of oil is used. Low-quality materials form carcinogens. Gastrointestinal patients beware. Moreover, if the raw materials are of low quality, carcinogens can form during the process, substances that increase the risk of developing serious diseases. People with gastrointestinal diseases should be especially careful. Additives and spices boost the production of stomach acid and disrupt digestion. And overindulging in popcorn can negatively affect the pancreas, leading to bloating and constipation. Parents need to be especially careful. For children under 5, popcorn can be a hazard. The coarse fibers found in whole corn grains are hard for a child's body to digest, and they can cause bloating and constipation. And flavor additives create a dependency on unhealthy snacks. Preservatives and flavorings are becoming a common cause of allergies. And sugar contributes to the development of cavities, weight gain, and the formation of a sugar addiction. To sum it up, popcorn in moderation and without added harmful ingredients can be harmless. But overindulging in this treat, especially the commercial kind, can seriously harm your health. Instant noodles are a convenient and quick way to satisfy hunger. However, despite its popularity, it hides quite a few hidden health risks. Basically, the base of instant noodles is no different from regular pasta since it's made from wheat flour. And it undergoes steaming followed by drying or frying. The problem lies in the additives and the way it's prepared. The noodles come with spices and seasonings that contain preservatives, flavor enhancers, and artificial colorings. Even though these ingredients are allowed by law, they can still negatively impact health with regular consumption. Experts classify instant noodles as fast foods since they are a source of quick carbs, fats, and potential carcinogens. This means that frequently eating such foods can negatively affect the functioning of the gastrointestinal tract. It can slow down metabolism and contribute to the accumulation of subcutaneous fat. Instant noodles are especially harmful. Instant noodles are not suitable for people with gastrointestinal diseases, obesity, carbohydrate metabolism disorders, and diabetes. High salt and seasoning content can cause fluid retention in the body, leading to swelling and a decline in metabolism. Instant noodles also contain very few beneficial nutrients, making regular consumption insufficient for providing the body with essential vitamins and minerals. So, despite the availability and convenience of this product, it's important to remember its potential harm to health and try to limit its consumption, especially if maintaining good well-being and a healthy lifestyle is a priority. Sodas aren't just sweet water, they're a potential threat to your health. Behind their pleasant taste and refreshing effect lies a host of hidden dangers that affect the body. One of the key components of soda is phosphoric acid, which helps to leach calcium and other important minerals from the body. This leads to weakened bone tissue. This increases the risk of developing osteoporosis and makes bones more fragile. But the harm doesn't stop there. The lining of metal cans often contains bisphenol A and BPA, which has been linked to increased cancer risk and reproductive problems. Drinking beverages containing BPA may cause premature puberty in children and other problems. Sweet carbonated drinks contain huge amounts of sugar. Just one glass of that kind of drink can cause a sharp spike in blood sugar levels, making the liver process carbohydrates into fat. This process not only leads to rapid weight gain, but also increases the risk of developing type 2 diabetes by 80%. Gradually, the body adapts to the constant influx of sugar. By producing fewer of its own hormones, it creates dependency. Moreover, soda disrupts the brain's reward system. At first, the drink triggers a rush of dopamine, creating a feeling of pleasure. But over time, you need more to achieve the same effect. Sugar. This leads to irritability, sluggishness, and a constant craving for just one more glass. Sodas may seem like a harmless treat, but regular consumption can lead to serious health issues, including obesity, diabetes, and worsening bone health. Think about whether the short-term pleasure is worth the long-term consequences it might bring. White bread seems like a simple and familiar product that many of us eat every day. However, it's worth considering how healthy it really is for us and what hidden dangers it might hold. When making white bread, high-quality wheat flour is used, which undergoes intense processing. As a result of this processing, the grain loses most of its vitamins, minerals, and dietary fiber. So, what's left? Mainly starch and gluten, a combination that turns a piece of bread into a source of quickly digestible carbohydrates. Frequent consumption of white bread causes a sharp spike in blood sugar levels, causing an insulin spike. The body, in an effort to quickly lower blood sugar levels, turns it into fat, which ultimately leads to weight gain. And it can trigger the development of diabetes. And since those carbs don't keep you full for long, the feeling of hunger comes back quickly, making you eat more. The problems don't stop there. White bread can also be a heavy burden on the digestive system. Due to the lack of dietary fiber, regular consumption can lead to constipation and discomfort in the gastrointestinal tract. Moreover, for people suffering from gluten intolerance or celiac disease, consuming white bread can be extremely dangerous, causing inflammation and damage to the intestinal lining. White bread can be especially harmful for people with a sedentary lifestyle or those trying to manage their weight. In such cases, it's better to choose whole grain or rye bread, rich in fiber and nutrients, or even give it up altogether in favor of healthier alternatives. To sum up, it becomes clear that familiar foods such as chips, sausages, mayonnaise, ketchup, hot dogs, popcorn, instant noodles, carbonated drinks, and even white bread can pose a serious threat to health. Think about it. Is short-term pleasure worth the consequences it may cause? Maybe it's time to be more mindful of your choices to maintain your health and well-being for many years to come. I hope you learned a lot of new and useful things from this video. Do you want to surprise and delight people? Join our team. We create content that inspires. If you know how to edit videos, voice over clips, or write interesting scripts, we'd love to have you on the team. Message our Telegram bot and let's make the world healthier.